Y'all already know the rules. You come in my house, take off your shoes, and super violate that like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon. The complaint alleges that on January 10th of this year, 3 music industry professionals traveled to Dallas for a scheduled business meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims. As alleged, once these 3 men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. One of the victims was actually choked by one of the defendants to the point of near unconsciousness. Defendant Wright barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent the victims from escaping. The ringleader of the conspiracy, Lontrell Williams Jr., was on home confinement at the time of the offense, as alleged, for a prior firearms conspiracy charge and conviction out of the Southern District of Florida. Towards the end of his prison sentence, he had been granted home detention. Part of the terms of his home detention were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal kidnapping as charged in the complaint. And as described further in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims. The charging document outlines some of the evidence, just some, establishing the defendants' roles in the federal offense.
Pooh Shiesty update. You've heard the rumors about how he's getting arrested and he robbed Gucci Mane. Well, here's what we really know. What we really know is that earlier this week, the FBI executed a search warrant at the house of Lontrell Williams. Not clear if they're talking about Pooh Shiesty Lontrell Williams or his dad, Lontrell Williams Sr., but that house in Memphis was raided. After it was raided, reports came out that Pooh's dad and Pooh were both arrested. It seems pretty clear that he's been arrested. Now, the bombshell report that just came out today out of Dallas is that the DOJ is getting ready to file a criminal complaint against Pooh Shiesty and Big 30 for, get this, a robbery at a Dallas, Texas recording studio where Pooh invites a recording contract executive to the studio to discuss his contract. The report doesn't name this executive. Presumably it's Gucci Mane. And that once there, rather than discuss the contract, things get violent. Pooh pulls out a gun and forces this executive to sign. The allegations get crazier, according to the report. Big 30 barricades the studio, doesn't let anybody get out. They force the contract signature. They also rob everybody there with Rolexes and jewelry and whatever else. They get out of there. The feds say saw social media. Some of the perpetrators of this robbery were on social media flashing the stolen goods. What is going to happen with this case? Well, look, presumably Pooh's going to get arrested and charged with maybe a federal court or a state court indictment. Pooh's on supervised release. Supervised release for 3 years, started last year in 2025. He's still got tons of years left on supervised release. He's going to get a violation on that probably, definitely, if this report is accurate about the charge. And then once he gets that violation, for an armed robbery, it's very possible that he's going to go right back into federal prison. Now, Pooh's got great lawyers. Pooh has not actually formally been charged, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Wild story, wild report. We'll see what happens when the dust settles.
Pooh Shiesty been sitting in jail for the last 3 days, bro. And his girl. It was snatched his girl. Big 30 is on the run. Feds got it out for him right now. The house they hit, yeah, technically that's his house, but they just took his daddy down. And he had hella shit in there.
Is Pooh wrong for why he did it? Now, a lot of people don't understand. When Big Scar died, that is Pooh Shiesty's blood cousin, you guys. Blood. When Big Scar died, it was some shit going on between Gucci and Pooh family about the chains and shit. Pooh wanted the chain back, all type of no. Pooh felt like, I don't this nigga no more. You doing my family wrong. You did my cousin wrong, nigga. And Pooh, yo, you know why he signed to 1017, right?
Yeah, cut the scar.
Cut the scar. So how Pooh looking at it is, nigga, if it wasn't for my cousin, I wouldn't even be over here. And you did him wrong. So is Pooh wrong for the reasoning he had behind all this shit?
Nah, you look, he ain't popped. From the Charlie's gonna pay, you should have popped him.
On top of Yo Gotti and the daddy ear talking about how much more money he could have paid him.
You face the kidnapping robbery, you should have popped him. You be doing 20-30 on that. You could have gained below the weight. Hey, you could have gained below the weight shot.
You could have, wow. You could have. Hey, listen, not even just that. Conspiracy, they plotted that. You hear me?
Who?
They plotted that.
Yeah, guy probably pumped their head up based on that.
No. What I'm talking about is they plotted. So with the Fed, why the feds are in here is because that wasn't a spur of the moment thing. They planned and plotted to extort the nigga out the contract, and then it turned into a robbery, and they crossed state lines. See, they plotted it, executed it. You know what I mean? So that's why the feds.
You got to plot on a movie like that. You got to plot.
You got to plot. So now it's
nothing like that.
Now it's a conspiracy. You see what I'm saying? It's a conspiracy now. So knowing that the police, because you know they ain't gonna give me credit, I was the one who said the police was the security guard. I see your video. You knew he was gonna tell. He had to tell.
Got to the oath. To the oath.
He gotta tell y'all. I told y'all. There's no way in hell that cop watched that robbery happen, and he was there when that robbery happened.
But why? Why try to stick to the strip? Just make the nigga sign the paper. That's it. Fuck you need his ring and watch some shit for.
You know why I think he did that though? He was showing out in front of his niggas, like nigga, I'm that nigga, like nigga.
But you already did that when you popped the nigga in front of your niggas. You gotta prove yourself again. We just see you pop the nigga in a McLaren. Why the f on the run?
Well, it was like, you know, how you gonna do that though? You still in custody of them. Remember, they put him in the halfway house right after this happened. They notice how out the blue, he started buying all type of jewelry, bought his mama a home. They think that was a coincidence. No. Why y'all think he was doing all that? He had to get his mama home. If I'm finna do time.
Because it wasn't a reason just jack out. He ain't dropped no songs. He ain't did no tours. He ain't did no shows. So
he did shit.
Yeah, just be spending bread like that.
He was blowing all his money because he knew it was just a matter of time, man. So how do you feel about Big 30? He only wrapped up in this because he was there and closed the door, and he didn't even have a gun. He didn't even rob the nigga. He was just there and closed the door.
Yeah, but shit, he closed the door. Remember, he keeps saying, "Close that door." Hey, close that door. Yeah, that nigga did good his whole bid, and now he better be facing 10 to 20.
Now you about to be facing 10 to 20. How you feel about the daddy? Because you could tell daddy had a gun, but you could kind of tell he was kind of following his son lead though. Like he ain't really want. I don't think he wanted it that.
You had Gucci Mane and 3 other people, and you had Pooh Shiesty and his crew. It wasn't an open setting where you had, it wasn't open to the public. It was Gucci Mane meeting Pooh Shiesty about what he was meeting Pooh Shiesty about. Gucci Mane from Atlanta, Pooh Shiesty from Memphis. They were in Dallas. So the question then, it begs to be asked, how does anybody outside of their 2 camps know what happened? How does anybody outside of Gucci Mane and the people he was with, and Pooh Shiesty and all them gangsters he was with, how did the general public find out about what happened? How did they find out that it was possibly a robbery? How did they find out that somebody put the beaters down on Gucci Mane's ass? How do we know that when everybody involved with that situation comes from gangster backgrounds? We know about it because somebody out of their camps had to have leaked it. Right. So my thing is, when you look at Gucci Mane, do you think Gucci Mane would have leaked something and that something had anything to do with somebody putting their hands on him and then relieving him of his jury? You think he would have leaked that? No, because it wouldn't have been to his advantage. Pooh Shiesty in his camp. The camp really is Pooh Shiesty's camp. Pooh Shiesty on federal papers. So do you think that it was in Pooh Shiesty's best interest to leak anything about that, given his current legal situation? You would think it wouldn't be, but what we know for a fact is that if you know about it and I know about it and the world knows about it, somebody inside their camp who professes to be gangsters, they had to have leaked that information to somebody.
Gucci Man got robbed and didn't tell nobody but the law. I told y'all, man, people who are paying goddamn taxes and law-abiding citizens, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, come on. That shit dead. Robbing people, trying to goddamn extort. That shit dead.
Now, I'm a little confused. Not at Pooh Shiesty, but the people that's judging him. You know what it's like to be sitting in the penitentiary and to be angry because somebody out there that has control over your finances is misappropriating them? What did Tupac say? I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting. When you are in jail, all you have is time to think. And most niggas that's in jail, all they think about is revenge. How some of you niggas been in jail and y'all don't know this and y'all don't see this? I'm going to say this again. If you've been to jail before, you know that all dudes in jail think about is revenge. Now, if you come from the streets, you also know that one thing niggas don't play with is when you play with their paper. So now you got a nigga sitting up in jail and you got a nigga in the streets playing with his paper in all types of ways. And he comes home and you still playing with him. And he comes home and he's showing you, I have all of this built up anger. And now we in each other's face. What you think gonna happen? He didn't just get on a plane and he been plotting before he came home from jail. And the problem with some of you people, y'all just don't realize that some niggas that throw it all away to rock your snot box, turn your TV off, humiliate you. And you know why? Because he's looking at Gucci Man. Gucci Man is supposed to be the illest nigga. He's supposed to be the illest nigga in Nebraska. Isn't this the dude that when a dude came in his house, that Jeezy sent in his house, he turned that nigga TV off? He rocked his snot. Isn't that what happened? So now, y'all confused? How you confused? Because Pooh Shiesty is the nigga that he said he is. And some of y'all was, but y'all got older and y'all got weak. Pooh Shiesty wasn't playing. He don't care about going back to the penitentiary. He don't care about the chicks. He don't care about the cars. He don't care about the record deals. He don't care about selling the music. He cared about the principle and the nigga playing with his money. And he did what he felt like he had to do. And I ain't mad at him. Nah, absolutely not. I'm not mad at him because he stood on his principles. Was it foolish? Yeah, it was. It was foolish. But nevertheless, he stood on his principles. You play with people's money and you're going to get what you're looking for. That's the bottom line to it. It is what it is. Yes, he could have made the money back, but the reality of it is when you got somebody to have you in a slave deal, right? You in a slave deal. He did what he had to do to get out there that deal when he wasn't having it. Now, you reap what you sow. And at the end of the day, I guess he's going to have to stand tall in this situation. That's the bottom line to that. As far as these allegations that's going around now, all of a sudden, his father's a rat. He's a rat, you know, coming from the 100 team or whatever the case may be. That's a whole nother story, a whole nother video. What I do know is that Gucci Mane, you know, the nigga that got on stage with Jeezy when they was doing the verses, and he taunted him like, I dare you. He taunted Jeezy, right? He taunted Jeezy to throw his life away. He sat up there and he dissed Jeezy's dead friend to antagonize Jeezy to set it off because he had all them niggas with him. But when Pooh Shiesty came home and got off that plane, instead of him doing the same thing he did to Jeezy, standing on that stage performing, well, someone please call 911. There wouldn't be no investigation. There wouldn't be no charges if Gucci Mane wasn't pointing the finger. And I don't care if it was a police officer that worked with Gucci, or off-duty police officer. It wouldn't be no case. That's my take on the situation. As y'all can hear, I'm kind of under the weather. That's why I ain't go live. Because I really wanted to go live on this topic. But as you can see, a nigga's under the weather. But that's my take on this situation. It is what it is. Everybody's not playing. You want a nigga to go off on you, play with his paper. Some niggas don't give a damn about jail when you playing with their paper. Either they gonna get you, or they gonna pay for somebody to get you. It is what it is. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. And pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. Live life as if you're on the run. Stay dangerous at the same time. I'm out.